The Final Frontier, those were the words that were said in one of the most iconic television shows ever, Star Trek. Half a century later, those words are once again said in the umpteenth iteration of the franchise, Strange New Worlds. Christopher Pike, now played by Anson Mount, is called back into duty in order to find and save his number one, played by Rebecca Romijn, from whatever trouble she got herself in. Hello everybody, it's me, Robotron. No, don't worry, I'm not having maintenance done. I'm just on the road, doing my thing, and decided to have another segment in my streaming since we don't already have too much to take care of as it is. Smash TeeVee Blitz, cause people don't care to wait 3 months to find out what my opinion is about things. Today, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, the fifth Klutzman vehicle that is once again hailed as possible salvation for the Star Trek franchise. We start the episode with a snowy landscape and Pike on his horse. I guess to remember people of his epic role of Cullen Bonan in Hell on Wheels, a role that he never was able to shed in my opinion. Anson is a smart man. I followed his podcast The Well for a while, and after his stint in the dreadful Discovery series it was said that he would only come back if certain things were changed in the writing. Whether or not things truly changed is yet to see, but it's safe to say that the writing of this episode is miles from what we got in Discovery and, God forbid, Picard. We're still following the same aesthetics of JJ Trek, but back are the colorful uniforms. Problem is, I didn't even pay attention to them. What's also back is unfortunately plenty of callbacks to inferior Trek. We are reminded that Michael Slay Queen Burnham is Spock's sister. We are reminded of the last events of Season 2 of Discovery. We are even reminded about the Uber-top secret things that happened in that awful season. Back too is diversity, which is fine if it's not shoved into your throat every 5 seconds. And I guess this amount of modernity is fine with me for the most part in this episode. It's fine to see yet another woman with shaved sides, since I guess she's someone who follows 21st century trends much like Pike enjoys to watch movies from the 50s all the time. I'm not a Trekkie, someone who knows the lore in and out. I'm more a Trekker, and this stuff didn't bother me all that much. What did bother me is the usage of contemporary language. Although I can't remember hearing fuck or any of these that Disco enjoyed. But calling a communicator a phone just is stupid. The inclusion of the January 6th thumb kerfuffle as if that was something earth-shaking. During these 2 years a lot more severe stuff has happened than that. Even things that include the whole world and not just the United States of A. Cause you know, there's more to the world than just the USA, fellas. And the world of Star Trek has always looked much broader than just American history. And yes, before you grab your pitchforks, it was primarily in cases. But I'm making a point here. Out of all the real riots and hundreds of thousands of people hitting the streets for freedom, they specifically chose this. And that, in the greater scale of things, isn't all that special. What also kinda struck me as weird is that they announce a new person join the crew called Kirk. I could hear the cries of millions of former fans as they realized the soon-to-be appearance of bisexual Kirk, played by none other than Vampire Diaries' lesser brother Paul Wesley. Surprisingly, it was not James T. Kirk that stepped out of the elevator, but another totally unrelated guy. Haha, writers, bet you feel glad you stuck it to the fans with that one, huh? We get more new characters and some new old ones. Yura returns as a different actress. Similar to Nurse Chapel, we got Mbinga the new Doctor, who got another relative of the massive procreating Sue family, and some other people I didn't care to remember the names of yet. Overall, the story and the writing of this episode harkens back to the old Star Trek. Not completely, but 1,000,000 times more than what we got from Discovery and Picard, which I stopped watching after season 2 and 1. I also have seen only one episode of Lower Decks and none of Prodigy, by the way, though I watched plenty of reviews made by YouTube icons such as Birdo Prey 5, Nerdrotic, Angry Joe and others. The story progresses nicely. The conclusion is classic Trek and not some retarded bad reboot quick switch. The acting is fine for the most part. Anson Mount oozes charisma, overshadowing most of the flaws of others you could find when he's on screen. And the rest is fine as long as you are able to remove the conditioning we've gone through in hating the propaganda and other crap that they have been pushing for years now. The question remains whether this writing will remain the same or get worse. A miracle could happen and it could become even better, but I'm weary of everything these days. As is this first episode of Strange New Worlds is promising. It's too bad, however, that there have been a lot of promising first episodes that only shat on the fanbase not hours later. They have laid some foundations for PTSD moments in both Pike and his temporary first officer, which could lead to a lot of feelings in hallways. The women in this show are also on the border of being powerful and all-knowing, but I at least saw some flaws thrown in so that might even out in the long run. No one can top Michael Burnham after all. Oh, and let me mention that the actress for Yura, although pretty, does not have the required amount of sex appeal that Nichelle Nichols had in her run. At least Zoe Saldana resembled Nichols a little bit, more than this actress does, that is. Nitpick aside, I'll be watching next week's episode. No clue how many of these I'll do. One wrong episode and I'm out. Ain't nobody got time for this, and definitely not yours truly, Robotron. Check that.